We are investigating a murder. Do you understand the criminal consequences of making a false statement?
Yes.
Do you understand the importance of telling the truth?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so this isn't suspecting that you're not going to tell the truth. This is more of a feature that you understand the importance of telling the complete truth. You have nothing to apologize to me for, Jennifer. It's going to be tough. I'll get you some Kleenex in a second, okay? Now I want you to sort of take yourself back to earlier on today, yesterday.
When she's first taken in, she comes across quite well, I think, and she cuts a sympathetic figure. She's tearful. She doesn't look like the sort of person that would be able to engineer this kind of crime. But when you think about it again, she's also a person who's been leading a double life for several years and been lying to her parents about her grades at school, and then lying about the fact that she was at university. She'd mounted a whole fictitious life for herself. So to some extent, it's not that surprising that she would be fairly convincing in the initial stages of the interrogation process.
My mom came home, I believe that was around 9:30 or so. She was rummaging downstairs. I didn't think anything of it. And then suddenly I just heard my mom calling for my dad to come down. And that's when I lowered the volume on my TV. And I could hear the voices weren't any voices I was very familiar with. And so I was scared and I couldn't move. I just sat in my room for a while. A guy was there and he came at me and had string in his hand.
Take your time. Take your time. All this is very important, so take your time.
They dragged me down the stairs and made me kneel at the bottom, telling me to face down on the floor while the other guy had a gun behind my head, and asked my mom where her purse was. My mom kept trying to get up and they kept telling her, sit down. They took me up the stairs and he tied me to the top of the banister. The last thing I heard them say was, you lied to us, you lied to us. And then I heard two pops. My mom screamed.
Most people, when they've been witness to a traumatic experience, such as the attempted killing of their parents, are very traumatized, can't remember things, and over time, they start to recall more and more information. She apparently, according to the police, had a ready-made story. She knew all the answers to the questions. That straight away makes people suspicious of her.
During a witness interview, if you have suspicions in the back of your mind that this person may have a role in the offence, you have to caution them under the Police and Criminal Evidence Act. And if you do, you then have to stop that interview and re-interview them as a suspect. So it's a great balancing act to get as much as you can from them as a witness without tipping over into the suspect part of the investigation.
What do you see of this guy? And I'm calling him a guy because you said you thought they were all
I think
males.
they were all three males.
Okay, so tell me about this guy.
He was medium build.
Okay.
I don't remember any of his clothing, unfortunately. The only thing I can remember was him was he had dreadlocks.
Okay, dreadlocks. So can you describe his race to me?
He was black.
When the police arrived, they found Jennifer upstairs in her bedroom and they released her from the bonds that were tying her up and started talking to her. The medical staff were in attendance downstairs and obviously the crime scene was sealed off. Officers attending the scene thought it was a bit strange. They thought there was something suspicious immediately. Simple fact of the matter that she had been alienated from the attack made it stand out as suspicious. Why was she not shot like her parents? Why was she taken upstairs? The second thing, of course, that come to their nature was her hands were tied behind her back, bound behind her back, and she made a 999 call or 911 call to the police, an emergency service call. And they asked her to reenact that, and she couldn't do it. It was impossible. The other thing that Jennifer was not aware of was her father surviving the attack. And when the police went to investigate or interview her father once he was recovered, he told an altogether different story from that Jennifer had told. He told how Jennifer had been acquiescing with the attackers. It wasn't a scared little girl or a scared woman who was fighting for her life. She'd been interacting and walking around the mother's dead body, and he'd seen it, his own daughter, his own flesh and blood, there, basically out to murder them.
I'm here with Professor Michael Brooks. As a former prison psychologist, he's experienced firsthand the lengths of deception that murderers will go to in order to deny their crimes.
Michael, what did you make of that part of the interview?
Well, I think they'd have worked out that she's very involved in the crime, regardless of whether or not her father had lived. It's very unusual for there to be an assault on only 2 people when there's 3 in the house. So you'd have expected her to have sustained some injuries, and the fact that she didn't would lead the police to ask those questions. And it then depends upon the interviewing technique that you want to take. Do you just let the person that you're interviewing continue with that narrative, or at some point you present some alternative information?
Your money, your stories, brought to you by the Brinks Prepaid MasterCard.
Brinks is my go-to card because I just use it for everything. I have tried other prepaid cards and they're just not the same. Before, how I used to budget my money was completely all over the place.
The Brinks Prepaid MasterCard can help you budget. You can track your purchases, pay bills, and shop online. And the simple-to-use budgeting tools help you manage your money.
Before Brinks, my money situation was just all over the place. But now with the Brinks card, every time I make a transaction, I get an alert right on my phone, and it means the world to me.
Before Brinks, I was mismanaging my money. Now that I have a Brinks account,